Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we are really honoured to have one of our newest members of Ambition Growth Network come and join us today. We've got the lovely Louise Viggers. She's joining us. She has a fantastic company that she works for, Temple Spa, and she is coming to give us a bit of an overview about what she does, how she manages her team, why we all need a little bit of me time, and also helping ourselves to really look after ourselves, both through our skin, relaxation, meditation, but also from a mental health point of view as well. So please welcome Louise Viggers. Hello, lovely.
Hello, I have to apologise. I'm good. I just have to apologise by my technology hiccup this morning. So if I sound like I'm in a tin box and now you can hear the dog and I don't have an office.
Welcome to real world, eh? Welcome
I
to
think
real
that's
world.
it. Running a business from home normally does not look like this because I don't have anyone in the house. But since COVID, everybody has been in.
I think we're all, similar kind of position, isn't it? I think it's one of those things, you've just got to take what the environment is and just run with it, isn't it? But thank you for joining us.
So, no, thank you for having me. I am excited, tad nervous, but I'm sure I'll be
We'll be
fine.
fine. The
I'll be
lovely people
fine.
watching will all be very nice, I'm sure. Very nice.
Well, I
So I
hope
said,
so.
your first time kind of coming on live through Ambition Growth Network. I know when we first started the coronavirus business support group, you did a little live in there, didn't you? Kind of, that was probably 4 or 5 months ago now, wasn't it?
Gosh, was it really that long ago? I was
It was
thinking
right at
that
the beginning, wasn't
yesterday.
it? Yeah.
Just threw myself into it. But,
absolutely. I think it's one of those things, isn't it? Obviously, everybody's changed the way they do things and kind of really embracing technology. Because I've known you for a few years now, and not be funny, I think you're probably the least likely person that I would have thought I'd have on a show talking through, because you were quite nervous about kind of getting yourself out there and kind of having that voice. But you've done amazing over the last few months to really grow and shine. It's good.
it is. I love what I do, and when I'm in front of the people that I work with, I'm a different person. But this kind of, like you say, over the last couple of months, but I've been encouraged, by you, by Carly, by Grace, by lots of people around me that actually I love what I do, and I just need to reach more people. But I am much happier in a small group, just talking skincare, talking well-being, talking about how it makes you feel good with like 4 to 5 people. So the Zoom thing, the technology I've had to embrace. I'm blessed to have people to help me do that, and we'll see how it comes across, really. But yeah, you just got to go for it. I think that's the one thing
I
I've
think you
learned.
do. Yeah,
Just go for it.
It's interesting, isn't it? And even just the way that kind of you talk with your team, you have your little meetings, how you actually go through on a day-to-day basis and run your business. So tell us a bit about how COVID's kind of affected your business. Has it been quite difficult? Because obviously you're very hands-on, having kind of parties and kind of people around a table. When we're in lockdown, it must have been quite a tricky one.
It's been, I mean, I do look sort of work alongside a team. It's really weird. They are their own businesses, so we have various people who do this as a hobby. Some want it more as a bigger income, and some, it's kind of like a livelihood. And to go from what we do, which is going into people's homes, sitting down with 4 or 5 friends, sometimes sort of 6 or 7, to being told you can't, and it's all got to be virtual. And also how I work with my team, I'm very hands-on. We meet for coffee, we go for drinks, I do all the training next to them, sat there showing them physically how to do things. So it's been a huge shift. Some have embraced it widely because that's just in their nature, and others I've had to work very tentatively. They've needed a lot of time, like everyone, to adjust. And so I've had to learn how to use technology, which, as you can see, is not my forte as far as this is concerned.
Oh, it's working then. It's working.
Good. But embracing Zoom, learning how to do all of that, and then I've been able to pass it on. Actually, it's been incredible because of how we can work, even though nothing takes away. You still, whenever I've gone to do so, for those of you that don't know, I bring a spa experience into people's homes, and one of the first things people notice when I walk in the room is the smell. And if you've ever been to a spa, there is something so instantly gratifying and instantly relaxing about that smell. And so there are aspects of what we do that have been very difficult to emanate. You know, how do you send a room spray in the post? But we've managed it. We've done the things. But with the team, I've had to be very careful on how I work with them, because some have gone, yeah, I want to do Zoom. I'm happy to do live videos. And others who don't really do a lot of social media, I've had to literally go back to basics and go, right, well, let's look at how you want to look after your clients. Some of them have gone through WhatsApp. You know, they're literally just messaging and phoning people, and that's worked really well for them. Some have embraced the live video, others were just using social networking and social media to just keep everyone reminded of the fact that we are still allowed to give ourselves time. And I think that's probably been the hardest one, that to convey over just these sort of platforms. When you're talking to someone, you can get what's going on. um Sorry, background. So it's been a challenge, but actually it's been rewarding because it's been really well received. And I think my team, the girls I work with and the boys, because this is not just a business for women, have actually been surprised themselves at how their clients have enjoyed it. And actually, it's been really, you talked about the mental health side. COVID has taken us all by surprise. I think that's the first thing. But every single person I know has been touched one way or another, whether it's because they've had to work twice as hard, or whether it's because they've been furloughed and had all this free time. The one thing I suppose I've been blessed to be part of is the fact that most of us have, it could be my network. I just went blank then.
It went a
So
bit frozen there, didn't it? I was like, oh,
it
has she
did.
disappeared? I don't even know. We'll just
So
make up what you said. It's all good,
but
isn't it?
it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I've had to learn new things. That's the main thing. And putting myself out there. That's been, doing things like this is so out of my comfort zone. But I know from experience, when I first joined Temple Spa, that was out of my comfort zone because I knew nothing about skincare. So, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and actually, the more natural you are. And so, I've not scripted anything. I've just talking from the heart. But it's anyone that's run a business over these last 5 months that was face to face, I think will have been challenged with all sorts of stuff like myself, really. And
Definitely.
yeah, that makes
It's all
sense. I
touched
don't
us,
know if
isn't
I
it?
said.
I think this is the thing, isn't it? We got a couple of people watching today. I'm just going to pop a little couple of comments up.
It
So
is.
I'm just had a look on Facebook, obviously, because
Oh,
yeah, if you're watching on StreamYard, obviously, do
I
make
can't
sure you
see.
receive permission. I know it just says hi, guys. So I've just checked on Facebook, and it's Joe James. So hi, Joe James. Lovely to see you here
Hello,
this morning. And
James.
we've also had the lovely Jason Brockman as well. He loves your mug,
Yeah.
your
Do you know, I
beautiful,
actually.
lovely, large penguin. Love it. Lovely days indeed. Oh, that's so good. We've also got Jackie Martin watching as well, working
Cool.
doubly hard to cover those on furlough. So tired. It can be really,
Oh,
really difficult, isn't it? And I think actually, the last few months have just been absolutely crazy for everybody, haven't they? I think
yeah.
it's difficult from a work point of view because you don't feel like you're working when you're doing social media on your phone necessarily, but it's quite
Mm.
draining, isn't it? And actually, when you see these reports of how many hours you've spent on your phone, where
Yeah.
normally you'd be driving, you'd be going to meetings, you'd be having coffee, you'd be meeting up with other people, actually, it's the technology also is a bit draining, I find. Obviously, all these Zoom calls, but also like the blue light and stuff like that as well, and obviously your sleep patterns, and just everything just seems out of sync a little bit, isn't it? And I think obviously what I really like, I've been to quite a few Temple Spa parties. I really love the vibe that they give off, but it's all about for me creating a ritual to have like a morning ritual where you wake up and like a bedtime one. I do love repose. It's my
Yeah.
favourite one. And all the aromatherapy that kind of go with that, I suppose, isn't it? And obviously, as you said, the smell. The smell is just
Yeah. And I think, I mean, with it's funny, having talking about those that are not furloughed, covering for furlough has been really difficult. But the rituals are so important. And, I could sit and talk about the brands and the products and
oh, you've frozen again, Louise.
oh no, and there we go. But rituals are really important because I suffered
Mm,
with anxiety over 5 years ago. I got myself into a bit of a state, and learning how to restructure my day. But sleep, you mentioned sleep, and we were talking on our a little Zoom yesterday. I can't remember his name, but he's done a sleep write up, and I need to go and read it, because
Yeah, he's
if we
fantastic. Yeah,
even
David.
sleep, going to bed at night, I don't know how many people have a ritual, but most people will just be, if they brush their teeth before they get into bed, is kind of a win. Whereas set yourself to be routine, whether away. I know some people have had to work in their dreams. Also, putting it all in a box with a lid and shoving it so you can't see it can actually help. Um, we do lots of things, and that's one of the things I've been able to do via Zoom is little lives in my Facebook group on how to rituals, so hand clinics, teens, and anybody watching who has got children will know how important when you've got kids that bedtime routine is. You know, anyone that's got really it's like it's instilled in you. You put them to bed, and they do that, and it's like anyone that's got kids that they sleep through the night, your life is beautiful the following day, or easier. But as adults, we forget to do it. We
Yeah, it's one of those
that
things, I think.
wind down, that restructure, that
Yeah.
brain. Yeah. And I think having things that help you get into a routine. So it, yes, we have repose, which I know you love, which I absolutely love. And it uses aromatherapy to trigger the smells in the brain to go, it's bedtime.
Bedtime, yeah, absolutely.
Same as if into a bakery, that warm, some people yeah, I'm so you're not hungry until you walk in, and then you've got the smell, and it's going to tell you at this minute you're walking in.
It just
Someone's
triggers that kind of
house
chemical
going.
response in your
It
brain.
does, and you spray the spray, and people instantly go, I've got teachers, loads of teachers, as clients and now friends who've all gone back to school, and they have, so many of them have gone back with quietude in their pocket, the room spray, because they just say they know when everything gets a bit frazzled or they're a bit concerned or anything, they can spray it and have that instant moment of calm. Doesn't always need to last a long time. So for me, it's not just about the full-on facial, a 20-minute face mask, a luxury bath. I mean, we all love it. It's not even always about getting to that is exactly what they need, but not all of us can do that regularly. So having just tools, it's like tools, isn't it? You've got a kit bag of stuff that you can use to help you through the day. And anyone that does mental health work will know it's not just about products, it's about food, it's about how outside, having fresh air. But that toolbox of things to help you is, even in the most busiest of times, you can still find 30 seconds to a minute which helps you reset. And that's kind of where my passion comes from, is how I make other people feel, because that's how I was made to feel the first time I ever came into contact with Temple Spa. And that's what I love.
I think,
Sorry, I'm
yeah, it's
waffling.
all about the feeling, isn't it? But again, I think obviously with lockdown and being kind of
Mm.
a lot of people being trapped on their own and kind of being kind of isolated, that physical touch. Because
Oh,
again, you don't just rubbing your face or kind of
yeah.
putting cream on your face or hand cream, especially when you're using lots of sanitizer and stuff like that, actually can be the only kind of, actually is a completely different feeling, I think, isn't it, from that point of view? And actually just allowing yourself to have that moment of calm, of relaxation.
And
I absolutely love it. Yeah.
you've reminded me of something somebody said to me, probably within the first 6 weeks, when everyone was still getting to come into terms. And I spoke to a lovely client, and I'd done a couple of WhatsApps, and I'd sent a video. Never done that before, actually. And she messaged me and said, Louise, I'm on my own. I've been on my own for 6 weeks. Your video was lovely. And so I picked up the phone and we chatted about what she could do. And she said, I talked her through, she came on a Zoom, and I talked her through that whole concept of the touch. And she said, I'd forgotten to just do that and how nice it felt. And it wasn't about, she already had her products. I just talked her through how to use them again and remind her. And it really surprised me. So you've just reminded me of
Yeah,
how we overlook stuff. I mean,
we do. I've just got a lovely comment from Grace
oh,
saying,
he's,
bit of quietude. I love that little spray. And I said, obviously, yeah, I quite often, before I come on a Zoom call, Jane, I've got a little spray in my drawer here, Jane, just to, depends on what type of call I'm going on, but sometimes I do need to calm down. Other times I need to hype up a bit with a bit more coffee. But it's kind of, as I said, it's knowing how your brain can kind of cope with things, isn't it? And I think
yeah,
actually we all pile so much stuff onto us all the time, isn't it? And we
yeah.
take on, especially when you're on social media and obviously in the support
Oh,
group that we've been doing, and we've been trying to help as many people as possible. It's surprising how much of other people's stress you take on as well and kind of worry about them. And actually, sometimes you just need to let go. I think coming into autumn now, it's a real big reminder with the colours changing on the trees and the leaves coming down. And actually that feeling of slowing down and relaxing and letting go. I think it's just
it is.
been
And I think anyone that's in the business of looking after, caring, helping, supporting, um, you'd still have to look after you. Somebody said to me, and it reminded me this week of, it was years ago at one of the conferences I went to, and we were talking about how self-care is ultimately probably the most important thing we can do for ourselves, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And it's always sat with me, that little phrase of, but that's the whole point. You can run ragged. And how many people do we see through social media in all walks of life where they keep going and they keep going, and you take on everyone's world, but actually you have to down tools sometimes and just allow yourself to recover. And it looks
yeah.
different for everyone. I'm a runner, but I found running really difficult, but I still get outside. And I have to turn off the social media sometimes. And you said earlier, we have got to go more and more on social media. Even before COVID, there was a huge thing about detoxing from social media. There's lots of cyber stuff going on. And yet it's been a lifeline now. However, the screens, the expectation, you still have to detox. So, but it's just finding an excuse. And I do think it looks different for everyone. And, I'm not, anyone that knows me knows that I pretty much think I can fix anything with a bit of temper spa.
It's a
I
start,
still can't.
absolutely.
I can temper spa you. I can help you, but I also appreciate there is more to it than that. But it doesn't matter, and unless you are giving yourself time. Time is like, you can, even if it's just 5 minutes. I always say to the women especially the women, especially those that have children and work. I know that they put everything else in front of them. They put them really, they are like underneath this pile of stuff. But actually, the washing can wait 5 minutes. The dishes can wait 5 minutes. In fact, you know what? Tea could probably wait 5 minutes. It's like you can grab. We're very good at not doing it, but actually, again, something somebody recently said to me. She's called April Joy. She's amazing. And one of the things she said is, what's easy to do is easy not to do. And it's really true. If you think about all the things, and it's like, actually, no, I'm going to just have, and you always feel better. So take an extra 5 minutes for your cup of coffee this morning, go out in the garden, just whatever it is. I'm really passionate about that side of it. But that's what I love about what I do, is I give people the excuse to stop.
Yeah. I was speaking with my friend Julie Makarevich. She came over last night and we were just talking
Oh,
about kind of how we look after ourselves and our bodies. And I think that self-care element. And we were just talking about the way that certain people will spend money on tangible things. I mean, Amazon's gone crazy, isn't it? People are buying stuff all the time. But yet, as I said, obviously, when it comes to your own physical body, you've only got one, haven't you? And actually, it's how you feel within your own skin as well, isn't it? And allowing yourself that pleasure and the pampering and the kind of looking after yourself from that point of view, whether that be on products or whether it's just taking time for yourself to meditate, to have a bath, to be able to relax and actually kind of down tools. I mean, I've missed so much over the last 6 months being able to go to the spa or to go swimming or to have a massage and all the things that I would normally do to actually relax and wind. and from a social point of view, were all kind of taken away from me. And I found it very, very difficult to actually find the need to relax, because you're like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sat at home all day. But actually, those stresses are still there, aren't they? And I think actually it's really important. Grace popped a little thing on here just about touch. And I think touch is really, really important. And actually, it's just, I said, obviously, Grace does some tapping and stuff like that. And I said, obviously, it's amazing what physical touch on yourself, whether that be on your temples, whether that be head massage, whether that be rubbing, looping and creaming. It's amazing.
Yes, she says just reaching for my hand cream purely because it's like I
Go
don't
for the
do it.
hand
And I was like,
cream.
actually, I'm gonna just. It's nothing about the touch. Again, it's like actually just sitting there and spending it. And I think you're right. And also, when we do stuff at 90 miles an hour. I don't know when I do my class. So when I go into people's homes and I do my classes and we talk about cleansing, one of the questions I ask is who cleanses twice a day? And normally I might have one person, maybe two, that will go, me. And everyone looks at them and go, really? But what everyone forgets is when you wash your face, you cleanse. However, most of us will do this. And we're like 90 miles an hour. We're in the shower. We're rushing. We're washing our hair, and then we're out in 2 minutes. And my role is to go, do you know what? Let's do it slightly different and take time out, and we slow down. And even the most skeptical people and those at the beginning go, well, I don't do anything. By the end, like you say, it's having the excuse to go, oh, actually, I do feel quite better. When I just literally get them, no, I don't do this every day. I will be absolutely honest. I am still guilty of going in that shower and washing my face 90 miles an hour at times. But when I remember there's certain things that will make me slow down, you feel better for it.
It
Having a
starts the day off
massage,
the right way, I think, as well, isn't it? Like
yeah,
sometimes when you get up a little bit late, or something happens early on in the morning, or you stub your toe and then something else happens, you kind of end up getting kind of in this kind of stuck in the rut, really, isn't it? And things just don't tend to go the way they're supposed to. But I think actually planning things out. So I think obviously one of the other calls
top.
that we were having within Ambition Growth Network in the members meeting was all about planning. And Lester was talking about going to the gym and things like that. And he said actually putting his gym clothes at the end of the bed the night before meant that actually he was more likely to do it. And I think the same thing with products and our rituals and our routines, Jane. If your stuff is in a cupboard or in a drawer, you're not seeing it. It's not there. It's not easy. It's not tangible. And I think actually, again, the products that Temple Spa come out, we were talking about this yesterday in our members meetup. The packaging is so beautiful and lovely. Again, it's not too overly feminine, but it feels luxurious. It smells lovely. And again, it's very tangible, isn't it? I think, obviously, from that point of view. And the pleasure you can get from that just makes your day start the right way, doesn't it?
It does, and it's like you're in one of my class. You're there all the time because
I think I've been in enough classes. Yeah.
you do, and it's lovely because you get it. But it is really true how many people I come across that say, and it's not just Temple Spa, it's any product. They'll treat themselves because they know they love it, but they put it in a cupboard and forget it's there. But if it's out and it reminds you to use it, and if it brings you joy, if you look at it, you go, oh, like repose, like you, I love that at the end of the day. I love my hand cream, but it just gives you that. Why would you not use that? Why would you not give yourself that moment to interrupt the whole process of your day? So if you have stubbed your toe, or if like, I'm terrible, I've got white on and I love wearing white, but it never stays white. I nearly always spill coffee down myself and I get really cross. But
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? It's all small things, but having things out, making yourself use them. I always think, and again, it's like Lester said with the gym stuff. If you've paid for membership of a gym, why would you not go and use it? So having your lovely clothes out, if that gives you that, right, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to put them on. Because once you're in your gym kit, you do kind of think, right, I'm going. I do the same with running sometimes. Is if I'm really feeling rubbish, but I know I've got to run, I will lay it all out there. And so
Yeah.
automatically in the morning, you just put it on. And the next minute, you're like, well, I've got to walk a dog. I might as well run. And you feel loads better. So having those things, but also knowing that it's okay to do it, that you said about the tangible side, people one of the things that when I first joined Temple Spa, before I joined Temple Spa, I didn't even want to go to my first class because I was one of those people that went, but I don't do that. I don't do skincare. I don't do. And I was like a really big skeptic. And when I went, the lady there said to me, just sit down. You're here now. Enjoy. She never did a hard sell. She made me feel amazing. And she just kept saying to me, just try this. So by the end of it, I was like a bit of a zombie. I was like, oh my God, so relaxed. I've never been so relaxed. And I didn't buy anything. I think that's one of the things I loved. But she made me realise that I had been doing myself an injustice almost by not allowing myself to enjoy this function of washing my face. And it's been a bit of a journey, but I still really, I meet so many people that come into my classes or are really skeptical and go, but I don't do spas. And I think they just forget how to relax. I don't know if people, it is almost, my husband will say, when we first met, I never relaxed. And actually, he's taught me how to relax a lot
I
better
think it's
than
almost,
probably anyone.
I don't know about you, but in business, it's almost seen as a badge of honour if you're working 90 hours a week, Jane. And actually,
Yeah,
people, yeah, Jane, obviously sitting down and watching Netflix is about the only thing that people kind of go, well, yeah, that's all I do to relax. But actually, you're just numbing your brain, aren't you, with just extra
yeah,
stuff. And I just think, actually, turn it off, turn the Wi-Fi
yeah,
off of a night time, because
yeah.
actually that can really make a big difference for sleep, especially with children. I've found, obviously, turn the Wi-Fi off when they go to bed, and actually, it really helps from that point of view. I've just got a little message here as well from this one. I've just checked on Facebook. Kate Brown, I think you're talking to me. The reposal of the so Taylor. I use it every night. Oh, that's fantastic. It's so good, isn't
Aww.
it? It's one of those things. I think if you can get into that routine or a ritual, like doing your teeth, isn't it? It's ingrained in us from such an early age to do your teeth.
Yeah,
But actually, as children, we don't have a routine of doing skincare. It's not ingrained in you until probably for females, when you reach teenage years, I suppose. Obviously, you start doing a bit of cleansing, spot cream, and etc. etc. But
yeah,
for boys, it's not something that's really ever talked about. I know we talked about this in our members group yesterday,
we did.
and how many boys and men don't use any products whatsoever. It's a bit of soap and water if they're lucky, but it's still seen as really girly or seen as kind of not
It
something that
does.
they need to do, isn't it? And it's breaking those barriers, really, isn't it? And just being able to give everybody that kind of that pleasure that can come from looking
And you,
after the biggest organ that you've got.
and yeah, what I have found with the male clients that I do have, and sometimes, in fact, if that's the case, I can't see which Kate Brown it is, so I'm going to be careful. But I do have a client who, when we were trialing our guy-only classes, we got her husband and her sons involved. And so I did this lovely little mini class. They were all, especially the husband, he was kind of like, I don't do anything with my skin. And the boys were kind of all over it. But at the end, what we found, and she was aghast because he went, well, actually, I really like that, and that, so I'm going to have it. They are so different once they discover what they like. So some of them don't, but if you say to them, they'll have favorite things that they do go, and the difference with men is they don't have to justify what they're spending. They just go, well, I like that, it works for me, I'm going to have it. So
Mm.
as they start to get into it, they go, well, yeah, I like it, I'm going to use it. It doesn't matter whether it's a high-end brand or a low-end brand. If they do discover they like it, they have a completely different mentality towards getting it. I don't know if you've got, like, when you go shopping with men, my husband is a nightmare to go shopping with, actually. But he would just walk into a shop, try on a pair of jeans. If they fit, that's it, he walks out with them. Me, I've got to try on 6, I've got to go into another shop, I've got to try these on, ends up going back. Men, totally different. They walk in, try a pair of shoes on, yeah, they'll do, brilliant.
Yeah,
Out
they'll
they go,
do.
they're done.
They're so
And
different, aren't
men,
they?
they are. So although skincare, some of them it is alien, and that bridge is being built. We are completely unisex.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, this is
But
the actual
we
Kate Brown. So she says it is Kate Brown. So there we go. You can see my 20-year-old twin.
and ironically, I was supposed to do a class with her last night, but I'm poorly, so we've had to postpone it. But her
Oh,
boys love it, and they're all in their 20s. My son now, the younger generation, they are not so backwards at coming forwards. But interestingly, what you said about girls, I wasn't taught skincare until really I was in my 30s. And
Mm,
I wasn't grown up with how to look after myself. I wasn't grown up with taking care of my skin. I wasn't brought up with that side. And I meet a lot of women who are the same. If you haven't got
mm,
a parent who values that, you don't
mm.
either. And I
Yeah, I
think that,
never had that myself, Jane. It was very much, yeah, you do your teeth and you wash your face and that's about it, sort of thing.
yeah,
My mum never used to really wear any makeup. She probably didn't even know what all of these things are. She has moisturiser, but that was probably the only thing that kind of was talked about in our house from that point of view. But again, it's not until you kind of see what's out there, isn't it? And I think you don't know what you don't know sometimes, isn't it? And I think the classes
yeah,
that you do aren't just salesy; they are very
yeah.
much educational and trying different things and working out what works for you. And actually, the first time I came along to a class, Jane, I turned up in a full face of makeup because I was like, oh, I'm going out. And then I was like, oh, now I've got to just take it all off. But actually, there was quite a few people at that class that were really self-conscious about taking their makeup off in front of their other friends. And it was a really interesting kind of evening where we were just barefaced, which again, a lot of people don't do. I've learned to love my skin no matter what it looks like from that point of view. Sometimes I wear some makeup, sometimes I don't. And I think actually it's when you look after your skin a bit better, you have less blemishes, you have a better skin tone. You don't need to wear the makeup necessarily all the time because, again, that doesn't really help from that point of view, is it? But again, it's knowing how to take it off properly.
I think, and it is, and you're right. I always underestimate that side of people just taking makeup off, and I don't ever put pressure on anyone to do that. You know, quite often people will sort of be really apprehensive, so I offer one-to-ones in that situation where, and I just say, sit back, try it all on your hands. And I like the fact that none of us that do Temple Spa are particularly salesy. We've got the ethos of how do you know what you like unless you try it. If you try it and you like it and you want to treat yourself, brilliant. But the whole point is none of us have got the same skin.
Yeah.
None of us really know, some people won't put water on their face. So even though I love a face wash, it's no good for someone like that. But the fact that I've seen people get their confidence and have more confidence in their skin after finding what suits them, and they do go out without makeup or don't wear so much, is really rewarding. And I've helped a lot of teenagers overcome those issues where you meet them. I don't know, I did it, and I'm sure many people that end up watching this, the toothpaste trick where you put the toothpaste or, you know, on you, or and you go to bed in it, or you use some of these really harsh stuff. It can really strip. And I've loved working with some of those girls and guys to help them overcome and just understand what it is that they're doing. But the classes, they bring so much, and it is true. You see people go from really apprehensive about taking their makeup off to by the end. And what I love about our business is it's very empowering around with the people that we work with, whether it's team in the team or just or with clients, is that everyone around the room will always compliment the next person and go, but you look amazing without makeup on. You look amazing like that. Your skin is glowing. You should do this. And for me, being part of that and instigating that sometimes is lovely. And what I also see is people slowly changing their persona of what they can do for themselves. That's a gift. I love that about what I do. And it is so much more than skincare. Even though I've got a Christmas stuff launching tomorrow and I will be all over it.
It's going to be so much fun, isn't it? Absolutely.
I
This new
know,
word.
sorry. I know, sorry, everybody. I'm very
Yeah.
excited about tomorrow.
I bet it's coming up to kind of one of your busiest times of the year at the moment, isn't it? Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a crazy one, I think, from that point of
Well,
view.
it is. And again, virtually, it's pros and cons. Our Christmas collection is always beautiful, and I think as a company, because again, I should really say this is we are 100% ethical. So we source all of our products, making sure that it doesn't impact heavily on the environment. We don't test on animals, and now we're really looking at our packaging. So some of our packaging, we're slowly transferring it to being 100% recyclable. It's all sustainable. And so it'll be interesting how that's going to affect our Christmas collection because none of us see it. Normally, we have a huge deal. It's it's red carpet, we get glammed up, we have champagne. They have a roadshow all
Mm.
over the country. They'll do like 6 or 7 and it's on YouTube. Like, it would be amazing, but it is
It
our
will be.
busiest time.
Mm.
It will be. And anyone that and I think this is where the guys come into it, is they may not be into skincare, but they may know people that would love what we do and love our gift section. So I always say to guys, I could be a personal shopper, but I always give them stuff to try. Like, our shaving gel is amazing, I have to say. So it's me going like that. I don't actually shave my face.
Do you shave your face,
I
Louise?
don't, although I'm not far off
You got
it. I'm not
bit of
far off
waxing
it.
on the moustache.
But I do use it I do use it on my arms and legs. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's the busiest time. It is a very busy time coming up, but it's also one of the most exciting times.
Mm.
But I'm having to do something different, so we'll see how that goes. Online markets, maybe collaborating, doing lots of stuff on social media. I'm going to have to do that, but I don't mind it because people watch. And I love Kate. She's just, when you have lovely clients like that, and you're a great client, it kind of infuses you, and it helps you
Mm.
grow. And then my team, I work with some incredible people who have it as a hobby, but also want to do more, and they have amazing ideas, and I feed off that. I love working with people who inspire me.
Mm.
um, and also I bring confidence out in them, which has been something I never thought I'd see myself doing, but I do actually see them grow and have their own businesses, some bigger than others, because you get that wherever. But the opportunity is really nice within Temple Spa. I'm always asking people to join, because I just think, oh, do you know what,
How many
if you
people do you
like.
actually have? How many people have you got in your team, Louise? How many people have you got now?
So in my direct team, so I've got a manager in my team, who's got her own little team, and actually she's got a manager. So I've kind of got a bit of a lineage, we call it. But I've got about 15 active. There are some that
Yeah.
dip in and out every couple of months, and that, again, I think there's a big misconception with businesses like mine, is that it's target driven. Temple Spa isn't. And I am going to say, for the record, we are not an MLM, even though I do not put any damper on certain MLM companies, because they are amazing and they have given people great opportunities. So I would never diss them. But people do think Temple Spa is like that. And actually, we have a very different structure, and we're
Mm.
not target driven until you become a manager. When you become a manager,
I know it's
then there's a
different.
little bit. It is, but
Mm.
it's, I think the
You've got to lead the
diversity.
team, isn't it? Yeah, you've got to
Yeah,
be an inspiration to drive everyone else forward, I think, isn't it? And I said it makes
it's,
all the difference between how you look at it, whether you're doing it as a business or a hobby, or
yeah.
whether you need the income, or whether you need to fulfill obviously your other dreams and aspirations to make it big, isn't it? And I think, as I said, I've worked in similar companies in the past, and I think
You
actually
have.
it's given me a really good basis of learning how to deal with clients, how to build a team, how to enjoy what I do as a job as well, Jane. I used to do similar kind of thing many moons ago now, but I absolutely loved it, Jane. It didn't feel like work to me.
No.
Actually, it was a way of getting out of the house, a way of kind of meeting with other like-minded people, and actually getting free products. So yeah, as I said, obviously it's one of those things. I think obviously with a lot of the entrepreneurs and business owners that we've got in the groups that we've got, I said a lot of them own their own businesses, but quite a few of them have multi-businesses. Jane, I've got
Yeah.
4 businesses. I know Carly's got 5. As I said, quite a few people have got extra bolt-ons,
Yeah.
because actually it's, I mean, once you know how to do business, actually it's just quite easy to transfer those skills to have other income streams as well, isn't it? So
It is. And actually, it's interesting because there are some people that were part of my team that left and have gone on to start their own businesses. And they always say to me they learned quite a lot of skills and the ideas of how to do it from some of the stuff that I've done. I mean,
yeah.
that's just such a great compliment from me. Was that me? But it is, I think one of the most challenging things I found becoming a leader is working with different people, and helping them achieve their goals, because they all have, they have different skill sets, but b, different levels of confidence, and also they all want something very different. And working primarily with women is not always easy, because you have to learn different personalities, and I mean that with the utmost respect, but that's probably one of the most challenging, but equally I would say it's the most rewarding, is
Yeah.
to get that text from one of my team to go, woohoo, I've just done this. And it might just be like, social media has been a huge barrier for some of the people in my team. So when they message me and go, I've just put a live video out, I know how much that means to them. So it's not about the sales, it's about growth, it's about outside comfort zones, it's about stepping up a little bit. Equally, when somebody reaches a level of a promotion that we're doing, you can't help but get excited for them. But it's taught me a lot about working with individuals. Yes, I've got to put a certain amount out there, but not some people are money orientated. They're easy to work for in some respects because you know what their goal is, but others that are kind of like, well, actually, I just want to go out and meet people, or I just want to expand this. Working with them, you get a completely different feedback, and but again, it's so nice to see. And I'd never thought when I joined Temple Spa, that wasn't what I joined for. I joined for the free products.
It's always a perk, isn't it?
There is,
Absolutely.
I have to say, I've never paid full price for a skin truffle in my 8.5 years. But what I've got from it, and now I do feel like a businesswoman. For a long time, I didn't. And I think that's why I used to actually, I have developed I work under the umbrella of Temple Spa, very supported by them, but I run it my way to a certain extent. Um, and it's really liberating. And the fact that, in all fairness, I think this is when people say, I love the products, I love the people, but I really love the fact that I get a full-time wage for working a part-time week. and
Definitely. I think,
I just love flexibility. So,
yeah.
and working my hours. But yeah, it's it's just, I really genuinely love it. But the people. So yeah, but it's amazing where it's led. It's amazing where it's led me. Who'd have thought I'd be sat here live in a group of how many people now? 5,000?
Oh, 5,600 nearly or something like that on Corona.
I'd have run a
Yeah,
mile.
coronavirus.
I'd have run a
Yeah,
mile. I would have run a
absolutely.
mile a couple of years ago. Just, it would have
It's
made me feel
just it's
physically fit.
unbelievable, really, isn't it? How things have changed and how we've all grown as people. I think
Yeah,
actually coming as part of a member of Ambition Growth Network, I said most of the people that we've got in there already own their own businesses, and for you to come in owning your space within Temple Spa to learn new things that perhaps Temple Spa are not teaching you. Because I think
yeah,
when I did similar kind of thing, I worked for Virgin V back in the day, and I said their training was amazing. It was really, really good, but it was very industry specific, and
yeah.
it was all very much the same. So all of the people within the industry all got taught exactly the same. But I think actually for you to excel and for you to push forward your business within it, as I said, sometimes it gets taken out of that box, isn't it? And going and learning from other people,
I'm
learning from other
really,
industries, learning from what other people do to grow their businesses, to actually take that on board, to push yours forward, isn't it? And become the leader that you're meant to be.
I'm really looking forward to it. That's why I joined. And it's, you think, what, I'm 3 days in, 4 days, 3 days
Four
in,
days, 4 days.
4 days
Yeah,
in.
you're one
And
of the
look,
first ones that have put their hand up and
well,
gone, yes, I'm on it. So yeah, you've really
but I
kind of
am.
jumped in and
I
taken it on
think,
board.
but I've often sat back, and that's what I don't want to do. I'm going to invest, and again, it goes back to, I'm going to invest in me to help me grow, and hope. And I know that there are some very talented people in this group. I'm looking forward to meeting them all. Drake's Island next week. A bit of face to
You're going to Drake
face.
Circus, aren't you? Yeah, we'll go shopping.
I
The amount of times they
no,
say
no,
that. So
Drake's
yeah.
Island. No,
Oh, so
but
the
yeah,
networking side of things is fantastic as well, isn't it? Because again, you can meet new people, whether that be new clients or people that want to come on your team, or as I said, just mixing with like-minded entrepreneurs that can push you and raise your standards. I think is really, really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward
and
to that next week.
and
That'll be
also,
fantastic.
I shouldn't underestimate. I've learned a thing or two along my way. I've made mistakes, which I think are the best learning curve of all.
Yeah.
And I like sharing that with people. I like showing them what's worked well and what can. And I've learned a lot about how to. I've got lots of transferable skills, I would say now, to
Yeah.
other businesses. And I I underestimated that for a long time. I think being part of Grace's group and now being part of this, it's reminded me that I do actually have some skills. I'm not I'm not crap at what I do. I'm good, and they are quite transferable in whatever shape, way, or form. Some things I'm
Yeah.
not. There are certain aspects. Technology, so much help there. But
That's what we're
I'm a
here for,
people
isn't it? That's what
person.
we're going to help
Yeah,
with and
but it's
support that, isn't it?
there are other things that, and I'm really looking forward to being part of it. I hope that I bring as much as I gain, if that makes sense, at some point. But the only way we can do that is by actually putting ourselves out there and getting to know people.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
I just want people to know that, yes, I'm very passionate about what I do. And if you get me talking about Temple Spa, I will not shut up. You will have to interrupt me. But there is a lot more to me. And I am really looking forward to embracing it all. So, yeah, I've really said a lot
Fantastic.
about me.
Oh, how about you? Oh, well, let's wrap up with a quick 3 minutes of who is Louise? Who is Louise? Tell us all. Come on, we want to know the
Oh,
juicy
who is
stuff.
me? Okay, so in a nutshell, so very quickly, my background is hospitality. I worked in pubs for years. I ran three, one of which, if you're local to Plymouth, was for Fortescue. That was my induction to the pub trade. I then took on the JSV by the uni, and then I went off to do a big pub refurb and development. When I had children, I knew I didn't want to go back to work full time, so I became a childminder, and for 10 years, that's what I did. And then I discovered Temple Spa. But I have two beautiful grown-up children. I like paddleboarding. I don't get out enough. I've got a dog, looking after another one. Um, I like gin. So if ever we're out, I'm a gin girl and a
Love the
fizz
gin.
girl.
Yeah.
I do like a bit of fizz, as in prosecco and champagne, of course, darling.
Why not?
Um,
Why not?
but I'm passionate, and I love my kids. I love my family. I love living in Wembury, which is right by the sea. Very much about caring, and I'm just trying to think of. I haven't got. I'm trying to think of a claim to fame, and it will come to me afterwards. One of those obscure things. Oh, and I tell you what, I do love. I love a musical. I possibly because my daughter is
Oh, I love a
very into
musical.
that. But I do
Oh,
love a musical, and I am so looking forward to the day the theatres open. I think
me too. I love the
not
theatre.
not just because my daughter has just graduated and is sat here jobless like so many in the
Yeah.
industry, but I think it's pure escapism. So if
Mm.
anybody locally, when the theatres open and you love a good musical, I'm definitely up for going.
Well, maybe we'll have to arrange a bit of an AGN
Oh, can you
theatre. Why
imagine?
not?
Just
Let's do
love a bit
that.
of
I think
jazz
that sounds
hands.
epic.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
so
love a bit
there
of
you go.
theatre. Oh, fantastic. That's lovely, Louise. Thank you so much for sharing. I've really
So, all right.
I learned a few things I didn't know about you in the last 2 minutes, so that's really good.
So,
Super stuff. Just really pleased that you've kind of joined the group. As I said, obviously, thank you
yeah,
so much for helping us at the
no,
launch party. And
oh,
as I said, it's really
pleasure.
great that you've just jumped in with both feet and just really embracing everything that's about it. Starting the 90-day challenge, so that's exciting. And
Yeah,
yeah, let's kick the ass of this last quarter of the year, shall we?
yes,
Let's do it because I think
I really
it's
want
about
to.
time that we took it by the horns and just make sure that we really embrace the last little bit, isn't it?
I
Mm.
think I think survival mode has moved on. I think now we're
Yeah.
like, right, it's this is now a new norm, and you've got to embrace it. And that's why I've done it. I've like, do you know what? Let's just go for it. I've got nothing to lose. Nothing
Exactly.
to lose. So,
And it's one of those things, isn't it? Once you've done it a few times, you realise, yeah, everyone's got to drink their drinks. Everyone's going to have a dog barking in the background. Your hair might be a bit fuzzy, but actually, people don't care about those things, do they?
I
So,
hope.
and then you can over worry about obviously being visible, but actually, yeah, the people that count will not even look at that. They won't care. We're all
And
normal, and
if
we're all here to help
I
and share. I think
I
that's the thing.
and it's just being authentic for me, being at ease with that now. This is who I am. I don't pretend to be perfect. I have perfect moments, and I think learning to recognize those has been really important. They're few and far
Yeah.
between at the moment, but yeah, I've got over that. I've just got over, this is me. I don't have an office. I have a dining room table. I have open plan house with all sorts going on. Does that mean I'm any less of a serious business person? Absolutely not. This is just how I work and how I function. Not entirely sure. But we're all different. Some people can't function like that. They have to have structure, and I think that's amazing. And I think learning to just comprehend how you function And if you are at ease with that and you can stop the chatter and the worry, like you say, you know, my lighting's probably not great. But I have put makeup on. You may not be able to see, but I have put makeup on
Well
today.
done, you. I'm impressed.
Like, there we
Lovely.
go.
Beautiful.
But you know, I like what I do, and I've seen lots of people on here that have that about them, and anyone that's sort of worried about doing one of these, I think just put your hands up and go, actually, Joe, I think I'd like to do one. And it's so easy to stop yourself. But again, it's that lovely little saying, what's easy to do is easy not to do. And you
It's
just have
easy
to
not
go
to
for
do.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a
Fantastic.
really good
I
one
like
to
that
carry
saying.
around.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, lovely. We shall wrap up now because we
Cool.
have 51 minutes. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. But let's wrap up now. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Louise, for sharing with us. And
Thank you.
as I said,
Thank you
really looking
so
forward to seeing
much.
your journey in the ATN group.
Yeah.
So thank you. Obviously,
Okay.
once we
Thanks,
put this
everyone.
into the group, if you can just pop your contact details and any bits and pieces, maybe your website in there.
Yeah.
So if people do want to contact you, if they're interested in having a chat with you or finding out more about Temple Spa or things that you do, obviously do pop it all in there so we can get
Yeah.
in touch. Lovely.
Brilliant.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
indeed.
you. Thank you.
Say goodbye now. Bye. Oh, so that was the lovely Louise Viggers. It's so lovely to chat with her. Every time it just makes you feel just so relaxed. Even though we haven't got the quietude spray, it just makes you feel a bit more zen. So thank you ever so much for listening. If anyone is interested in joining Ambition Growth Network, I've just put some details just at the bottom there. So head to our website and sign up on the membership there and come and join our amazing group of entrepreneurs and business owners to strive to grow and network across the whole of the UK. So if anyone's interested, pop a little message in or contact me or Carly direct, and it'll be lovely to hear from you. So thank you so much indeed. Catch you next week. Bye.